Hello, grade 9 parents, students, and families heading to Central Memorial High School for your grade 10 year. We want to welcome you to our grade 9 presentation this year. We know it's in a different format, so we appreciate you taking the time to watch this presentation. We're hoping to take you through a few different items that we hope you find valuable, both in terms of your high school progression and pathways, as well as what we have to offer here at Central Memorial High School and the CT Center. My name is Pam Bannock, and I'm the Student Services Learning Leader at Central Memorial High School. I'm one of 3 guidance counselors here. Myself, Tamara McEachran, and Jason Stroh will all be joining you at different points during this presentation today, so you'll get to meet all of us. We work to split up the student body by alphabet, so students with the surnames A through G work with myself, students with H through O work with Ms. McEachran, and students with P through Z work with Mr. Stroh. So as we move through, I will update you on what's going on in the slide, and if you have any questions, there will be opportunities through your junior high schools and middle schools to connect with us, or please do not hesitate to reach out to the school with any specific questions you might have as well. So Central Memorial High School offers our general student programs. So we offer everything that typical high schools offer in the Calgary Board of Education. We're also home to 3 specialized programs, including the Performing and Visual Arts program. We are the Center for Performing and Visual Arts in the CBE. We also offer the National Sports Academy and Global Academy through the Royals Hockey Program. And we will get to a little bit more information about that as we move through these slides. So if you have specific questions about any of these programs, all 3 programs have exceptional websites with plenty of information. And as well, you can always reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns. So when you are sitting down to do your registration for high school, you're going to see a form very similar to this one that you see in front of you. We're going to ask you what school you're currently at. We want to know your name. If you have a CBE ID number, that's fantastic that you can put that on there. Your phone and email. This would be the phone and email that would be easiest for us to get in contact with you as we move through the timetabling process in the spring and through summer. That way we can get into contact with you if we have any questions around some of the choices that you've made, or if there's conflicts in your timetable and things like that as well. You'll also see a spot to check if you are accepted into any of our specialized programs, including PVA, NSA, or the Royals program. We ask that you make sure that you indicate that on the form. We also ask that you indicate your specific programming request. So if you are a student that is currently on an IPP, please make sure you let us know by clicking that box. When we get your registration information, we try and collate that information as soon as possible so that we're able to support students as they walk through our doors. We recognize that students coming from outside the CBE, whether it's charter or Catholic schools, that this information doesn't automatically get moved over to us. So we ask in those situations, if at all possible, to provide us with a copy of your current IPP or your psychoeducational assessment that just provides us with a little bit more information to make sure that we're putting the accommodations in place for you as you transition to high school. We also ask students that are currently in English language learning programs, so if you're doing different benchmark leveling in your junior high or middle school, we ask that you indicate that on your form as well. Again, we want to make sure that we're setting students up for success as they move into high school, so that will alert us to making sure that we check those benchmarks and ensure that your level of English is in a proficient state for you to be successful in high school. Also, students interested in our advanced placement program can click that box as well. Students in advanced placement, I will get into that a little bit more as I move throughout this presentation, but students that are taking advanced placement classes in grade 10 and 11 are preparing themselves for an exam when they move into typically their grade 12 year. Students in a modified program, known as Knowledge and Employability, would also indicate that here in the checkbox to make sure that, again, we are aware of the courses that you would require a little bit more modification and supports in. So our junior high and middle school folks are amazing at ensuring that they have communication with students as well as families around those recommendations. So if that's something that you are planning on taking in high school, you'd click that box as well. Our next steps are to look at our academic courses. So I am going to address each section, English, Social Studies, Math, and Science, by going through the pathways here in just a moment. When this form comes home, or if you're filling it out through your hub classes, what we would like you to do is typically our junior high teachers will go in and make the recommendations for student courses along the side of the form there. We ask for this specifically from our junior high teachers because they know your students the best, and our students have been working with them and they know their skill base best in terms of where that pathway might be best suited for them to be successful as they move into high school. So those recommendations will be made by those junior high and middle school teachers, and we typically follow those. If you have questions or concerns about them, I certainly would encourage you to speak to that teacher directly. You can also reach out to the respective guidance counselor as well to have those conversations, and we're happy to support you with that as well. Students in the hub, you will get a fillable form where you're going to fill out the same form in a fillable format. We would ask that you connect with each one of your academic teachers from this year to ensure that we have these recommendations in place for you as well. We recognize those teachers are working sort of all over the system, so we're asking for your help and support in having those conversations with some of your teachers that you're currently with at this point as well. All right, I will move into the academics. I'm going to start with the English Language Arts pathways. So students moving into grade 10 will choose one course in English, typically in grade 10. As you can see in the flowchart there below, we have English 10-1, English 10-2, and English 10-4. One course that's not listed on there is our English 10-1 pre-AP class. So students that are looking for a more enriched experience in English language arts, so maybe they're students that are really passionate about reading and writing, literature, and really excel in those areas. Typically our students that are getting a lot of 4s, maybe a couple of 3s, may be interested in pursuing a pre-AP English 10-1, and you can indicate that on your form. The English 10-1 pathway, which moves to the 20-1 and 30-1, is a typical pathway progression for students that are looking at university level post-secondary upon their high school completion. So students looking at going into post-secondaries, including SAIT or some college-based programs, would need English 30-2 in some cases. However, our students that are looking at going to post-secondary at the university level would all need English 30-1. So students with 3s, 4s typically do really, really well in our English 10-1 program. But again, those recommendations it's really important to have those conversations with your language arts teachers in your junior high and middle schools. English 10-2 is a course for students. Again, it's a required course for them to move all the way to the 30 level in English. The 10-2 course focuses on the same curriculum and outcomes as the 10-1 course. However, it doesn't go in as much depth. So students in the 10-2 pathway will typically move towards looking at college and or workplace readiness as they move through their high school experience. And the 10-4 is for students that are in that knowledge and employability pathway that I spoke about earlier on the front of the form. So students that are registering for knowledge and employability, again, those conversations would be happening with your junior high teachers as well as the individuals that work with students in those programs in junior high as well. One thing I would like to say in regards to all of the pathways is our recommendations that are made by teachers are really looking to support students where they're at and the skills that they're demonstrating at this point. Keep in mind that these pathways can be somewhat flexible and that students are not necessarily stuck in any one pathway as they move through high school. So you may start in a -2 class, and as you can see, there are some progressions throughout the programs of studies as you move through high school. And you'll see that there are opportunities to upgrade or move around in those pathways as well. So that is our English pathway system. Moving on to our mathematics pathways. Again, in this particular flowchart, this shows the Math 10C, Math 10-3, and Math 10-4 typical pathways. Again, on this particular flowchart, you don't see the Math 10C pre-AP course. So again, our students that are looking for that extra challenge in mathematics are 4s, maybe a few 3s, students that really excel in math or have a lot of excitement around mathematics and mathematical concepts may want to challenge themselves with that Math 10C pre-AP course. We also offer a course called Math 15. So Math 15 is competencies in mathematics. We offer it here at Central Memorial in first semester. So students move into Math 15 in their first semester and then typically progress into Math 10C in the second semester. So students who might have some struggles in junior high in math, maybe you've got some 2s and quite a few 3s, but you know that you want to move into that more academic math for post-secondary, that Math 10C. Math 15 may be a great course for you to use as a preparation for you to move into that Math 10C curriculum. So students interested in Math 15 would indicate that as well as Math 10C on your registration form. And students will take Math 15 first semester. They'll complete the Math 10-3 curriculum and get 5 credits for that. They will then progress on to do the Math 15 curriculum within that time frame. And they will receive 3 credits for Math 15 as well. So in first semester, they will receive 8 credits in math. And the teachers will then sit down and work with students to ensure that they are ready for that Math 10C in second semester. Those teachers will make those recommendations based on how they progress through that Math 10-3 and Math 15 curriculum. We really want to ensure students are successful as they move into that second semester Math 10C course. Math 10C or Math 10 Common is our academic math course. So students that are sitting with 3s and 4s would very likely be good candidates for the Math 10C curriculum. The biggest sort of feedback that I receive and our guidance team receives about Math 10C is that it's not the content so much that is really difficult, it's the pace at which the content is delivered. So Math 10C is a very content-rich course. It moves into a lot of depth around mathematical concepts. And so students moving from grade 9 to grade 10 often find that doing 1 to 2 lessons per day in math to be quite a lot and quite a quick pace. So we would encourage students that are taking Math 10C to really be ready to do some homework in the evenings and make sure that they're committed to moving that understanding outside of the classroom because it is a very rich and rigorous course. Again, if you have questions about that, we're happy to support you in answering any questions you may have. Students from Math 10C would then move into Math 20-1 or 20-2 in grade 11 and progress through to Math 30-1 or 30-2, again, depending on what it is that they're looking to pursue in that post-secondary sphere upon leaving high school. Our Math 10-3 curriculum is our curriculum for students that are still in that diploma level course range. They are students that might have some 2s and 1s on the report card. Math maybe isn't their thing. Students are required to finish math to a 20 level in order to get their high school diploma, so 20-3 does meet that requirement. And this pathway is really for students that are looking at moving into the workforce after high school, students that are looking at perhaps college or technical institutes or the trades as they move into high school, again, moving into that 20-3 and 30-3 in grade 11 and grade 12. Math 10-4, again, is our K&E modified programs. Students would be having those conversations with their math teachers in junior high school around moving into that Math 10-4 and 20-4 moving into high school. And I think that's it for math. Social studies. So the social studies pathways, you'll notice, look very, very similar to our English language arts pathways as well. So again, on this particular chart, you don't see the Social 10-1 pre-AP course. Our students, again, that have a passion for social studies and that really excel in that area, again, 4s and perhaps a few 3s, may be really good candidates for the Social 10-1 pre-AP class. Students would take that in grade 10 and then progress into the pre-AP 20-1 and then into the Social 30-1 pre-AP class, and then moving into the AP course upon completion. And again, I'll go into AP a little bit more in a moment here. Students that choose the Social 10-1 pathway, again, this is our students that are typically looking at university entrance, moving through 10-1, 20-1, and 30-1. Students with 3s and 4s typically do really, really well in Social 10-1. Social 10-2, again, would be for our students that are sitting with those 2s and 1s perhaps, maybe not as keen in social studies and may not be interested in progressing into university in that subject area. Again, it's very dependent on what post-secondary opportunity it is that you're looking at as to whether or not you need that Social 30-1 or 30-2. But again, there's that flexibility as you move through high school to move up and down in the pathways as well. Finally, there's the Social 10-4, which is our K&E curriculum again, and we would encourage you to have those conversations with your junior high, middle school teachers around that modified curriculum as well. So that is our social studies in a nutshell. Science, so again, Science 10 pre-AP is not listed on this particular chart, but is offered here at Central Memorial. So students would do their Science 10 pre-AP. Again, these are our kiddos that are really interested in the sciences. They would be our students that are sitting at 4s and possibly 3s, looking at being really passionate about the sciences. They don't necessarily have to be passionate about all 3 sciences, but perhaps they're really interested in the scientific process and moving into more sciences as they move throughout high school. So our students that would choose Science 10 pre-AP, again, are our really passionate scientific students. Science 10 encompasses a little bit of biology, a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of physics, and a little bit of environmental science. So students that take Science 10, again, this is our academic science pathway. As students finish Science 10, they'll then be recommended for either Science 20, which is a little bit of all three sciences, or they may be recommended to take biology, chemistry, physics, or any of the above. So it breaks off into those more specific sciences as students move into grade 11. And then that would progress again into that biology 30, chemistry 30, physics 30, or or science 30, depending on, again, what it is that they're looking at moving on into that sort of post-secondary sphere. Our Science 14 would be comparable to our Math 10-3 program, where students are looking to finish their high school diploma with that Science 24 route, and maybe looking at moving into the workforce, maybe looking at moving into the trades, maybe looking at SATE or college programs as well. And again, that pathway is sufficient for students looking to finish their high school diploma. Finally, we have the Science 10-4 curriculum, which is our K&E science program. And I know I've said it now 4 times, you would be having that conversation with your junior high and middle school teachers at that point. So that gives you a little bit of an overview on the different pathways as you move through high school. Again, keep in mind that you've got a guidance counselor that is there to help support you and your family in making those decisions as you move throughout high school. And our biggest sort of pieces, we want to set up students to be as successful as they possibly can be as they move into that high school experience. So if you have any questions about pathways, please feel free to reach out. The next thing I wanted to bring up is our advanced placement program. So AP was created in the United States by the College Board, and it is for students that are looking for that enriched opportunity to look at a preparation in greater depth moving into post-secondary from high school. So students that are super passionate about a myriad of different courses have the ability to take advanced placement courses. So typically students would be looking at taking pre-AP in grade 10 and 11, and eventually in grade 12 they would be writing their AP exams in May of that year. Students that receive a 5 or more on that AP exam, so the exams are graded on a 5-point scale, once they get that 4 or 5 on that exam, typically universities, again, university to university specific, students may gain university credit for that course. So a typical progression, for example, a student might do English 10-1 pre-AP, English 20-1 pre-AP, and then English 30-1 pre-AP with English 35, which is literature and composition. And students would get their 15 credits as they move through the general -1 curriculum that Alberta provides. And they would also receive credit for English 35, literature and composition, and they would write that exam in order to prepare them for university entrance as well. So a lot of students and families ask, what is the difference between IB and AP? Often it is the flexibility in advanced placement for students. So students taking IB often are taking multiple courses and have a minimum number of courses that they take to be a part of that IB certificate. Advanced placement is a little bit more flexible in that students can choose one area if they choose. That they're passionate about, so whether it's English or biology or art, for example, that they really excel at or they're really passionate about, they can choose to gain that university course credit if they choose to use it, or just that sort of deeper level of understanding and study as they move into university. The courses that we offer in advanced placement at Central Memorial include math or calculus. We also have run biology, chemistry, physics, psychology, European history, English literature and composition, our studio art, which is drawing and 3D design, and we also offer a computer science advanced placement program as well. So students looking at AP courses, again, at our open house, we'll be hosting an AP session where Miss Sylvia Hayward, I believe, and maybe even Mr. Greg Bondi, our assistant principal, will be available for any questions that you may have around advanced placement and what that looks like as students move through their high school experience. Key considerations for programs and courses. Again, our goal is to provide a program that provides success for you as a student in high school. So we recognize that that transition from junior high to high school or middle school to high school can sometimes feel really big and overwhelming. So we want to ensure that we're putting students in classes where they're going to be successful, but that they're going to gain confidence and that they're going to do well in. Again, we realize that some of these decisions that you make as you're moving into grade 10 may impact you as you move in through your subsequent years in high school. But again, as I showed you through those pathways can be flexible and there is some room for movement and upgrading as you move throughout high school as well. So again, those are conversations that would be ongoing as you move throughout high school with your guidance counselor or your educational team. And finally, again, we really work closely with our junior high schools around taking those teacher recommendations because, again, we recognize that our junior high colleagues are the ones that are working with your students right now that understand them and their skills best. So we take their professional considerations into account as we start to look at where we feel that students would be best suited to be successful as they move into high school. So I'm going to sign off from here and turn it over to my colleague, Miss Tamara McEachran, and she's going to speak to you about our complementary courses and the other side of that fancy dancy form you have. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Hi everyone, I'm Ms. McEachran. I am one of the 3 guidance counselors and I work with the students with the last names starting with the letter H through the letter O. So I'm happy to be here today to talk to you a little bit about complementary courses and what that looks like and the different complementary courses that we offer at Central. So this is just a snapshot of our registration form. It might look a little different when you guys go to fill it out this year, but it's pretty much the same anyway. So within our complementary courses, we have our fine arts program, our general fine arts program, and we also have our performing and visual arts program. So just to talk a little bit about the general fine arts program, we have general dance, we've got fashion studies, we have instrumental music and band, we have drama, we've got art, and there's also vocal music, so choir, there's an opportunity for students to participate in all of those, as well as our media arts and design. So those are all being offered through our general fine arts program as well as our performing and visual arts program. I'm just going to take a brief minute to show you a little video for our performing and visual arts program.
The high school is not a building,
a parking lot, a hallway,
or a classroom.
A high school is a community,
an experience,
and maybe
the realization of a dream.
Which experience will you choose?
So for those students that are interested in the performing arts, the program of the performing arts, You can visit our website that is dedicated to that program specifically. So that's located at pvacentral.ca. You can take a look. It goes through the entire process, the application process, the form is there. Everything is online this year, so you will submit your application online. Students that are interested, there is usually an audition that is associated with whichever discipline you're looking at pursuing. So whether you're signing up for dance or visual arts, you'll be required to either perform or have some kind of a portfolio to showcase your talents and some of the work that you are doing. So like I said, your audition and everything is online, and usually the notifications go out by the end of March, so around spring break time. For those students, I know the deadline for application is January 14th. However, depending on space, there might be some availability for you to submit a late application if you're still contemplating. So at Central, we also offer international languages. We offer French and Spanish, as well as American Sign Language. We have French and Spanish at the 10, 20, and 30 level, and those are great options to use towards your university entrance. So if you do have, if you've been in French immersion or Spanish immersion, there will be an opportunity for you to challenge those lower level courses as well, or you could receive credit for 10, 20, and 30 if you are successful at challenging the French or Spanish exam. The American Sign Language program, we have partnered with Alternative High School, and students that partake in that option do head over to Alternative High School to take that class. For those fitness and wellness enthusiasts, we also have some options for you as well. We have our outdoor pursuits as well. We've got sports medicine, sports performance, and yoga. And for those students that are interested in media communications and communication arts, we've got architecture and industrial design, creative writing and publishing, film and media art, and media communication arts. And media communication arts is located over at the Career and Technology Center. So students that attend Central move freely between the Career and Technology Center and Central High School. So students go between the buildings. There's a variety of courses offered, options courses offered at both sites. And I encourage you to go to our website, the Central website, to actually look at our complimentary course guide. I'm not going into a whole lot of detail in this presentation about what the courses are about, but if you want to learn more about them, there is a write-up about all of the options courses that you can take in the complimentary course guide. So that's on the Central Memorial School website. Again, Career and Technology Studies, that's happening over at the Career and Technology Center. So the different options that we have there are auto body, automotive mechanics, business fundamentals, computer science, construction, cosmetology, culinary arts, and energy environmental innovation. So you'll notice that some are specific to the Career and Technology Center. They've got the CTC in brackets, and the other ones are offered at Central, the Central building. A continuation of that, we are offering fabrication or welding, fashion studies, foods, just a general foods as opposed to culinary arts. Culinary arts is more about kind of the catering and cafeteria style food, whereas foods personal is more about cooking for yourself and cooking for your family. IT Essentials, that's being offered in the evenings over at the Career and Technology Center. Legal studies, pre-engineering, women in trades, work experience, and we've got the registered apprenticeship program as well for those that have a particular or keen interest in trades. Some other options that we have are some of our student support classes. So students that are just needing a little bit of extra support around organization or study skills, test taking, they would benefit from maybe something with learning strategies. For those students that are a little wobbly in math and might need a little bolstering in their math skills, Math 15, the competencies in math, that might be a good option for them. As well, we have English language learning support for our ELL students, seeing that they are getting their English and whatever. Thanks everybody for listening.
Hi, my name is Jason Stroh, and I am the third guidance counselor, and I work with students who have the last names between P and Z. To continue on with our presentation, I just wanted to provide you with some extracurricular activities and experiences that are available at Central Memorial. So if you are athletically inclined, or if you're not and just want a great opportunity, I encourage you to try out and experience an athletic team. So as you can see from that list, we have a full range of athletic opportunities. So volleyball, soccer, field hockey, cross country, there's wrestling, basketball, there's even swimming, rugby, football, badminton, and everything related to track and field. We also have some other enrichment opportunities, so these would be your extracurricular clubs that are available to you. And again, lots of options here. Model United Nations, if you are interested in politics, speech and debate, leadership, if you want to be involved in the yearbook. Best Buddies is working with our task classes, improvisation club. We have a Gay Straight Alliance. We also have a Principals Advisory Committee, so certain students advise the administration on everything related to school and sort of be a student voice. We also have a variety of trips. So every year or sometimes every couple years, students go off to the Bamfield Marine Station on Vancouver Island. And then our PVA students in their graduating year have the amazing opportunity to participate in a trip to New York City. And then in their grade 12 year, perhaps they want to have a voice in what their graduation looks like so they can be involved in the graduation committee. We also have a lot of different supports for our students. We have our guidance team, the ones you've met today. We also have a resource team. So this is a space in the school that has some resource teachers and educational assistants for those students that are on an IPP and need some support. We have dual credit or off-site learning opportunities, so students, whether they are interested in work experience and want to gain credit that way, if they want to do what's called dual credit with some sort of post-secondary institution, they can get credit at that post-secondary and high school credit, so lots of variety with respect to different learning opportunities. Our Learning Commons is sort of like our little hub in the middle of our school, and this is where students can use technology, can be with friends on their spare, and do some different studying, and also just sit and read a book if they want. So it's a place to gather and work on their schoolwork, either formally in class setting or informally outside of class time. We also have an All-In for Youth, which is representative from the United Way, is working in the school, and their job is to work with students and families to remove barriers that it allows them to finish school or at least have improved success at school. And then we also have a student resource officer. So Constable Zabo is in the building, and he ensures that students feel safe and secure. So transitioning to grade 10 can be an exciting time, but can also be a scary time. And we have found that there's a couple key things that allow students to find success as they move from junior high to high school. The first thing is to create meaningful connections. And how do you do that? Well, the first thing you can do is become an active participant in your classes. So get involved, be engaged with your peers and your teacher. And then there's also, we encourage you to participate in extracurricular commitments. So maybe you want to join the improv club, or you want to join the GSA. Perhaps you want to join the volleyball team or other athletic opportunities. The big thing is we want you to dive in, have a positive experience, and take some chances. And that's how you can create some meaningful connections or relationships. Our ultimate job as teachers and adults in the building is to create a supportive learning environment. We want you to find success, and we want you to feel good about coming to school every day. We take great pride in watching our students walk across the stage in grade 12, so our main job here is to develop a learning environment that allows you to flourish. The last thing is a little bit on you, and we need you to do your job and create some strategies and some positive study skills that allow you to move through your curriculum feeling confident and finding success. And your teachers and student services and your guidance counselors can help you create positive study skills. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an example of what a traditional timetable looks like for grade 10 students. As I mentioned previously, we are semestered. And so semester 1 goes from September to the end of January, and then semester 2 goes from February till June. And in each semester, you have 4 classes. So this student in period 1 has English, in period 2 has Phys Ed 10, period 3 has Science 10, and then in period 4 they have an option of their choice. All right, and so that would end at the end of January, and those 4 courses would be done, and you'd begin 4 new courses. And second semester, now we move on to social, and we try and always balance those different humanities, English and social, in different semesters. And then a general student would have 2 options. So maybe this student is in fabrication, and then their afternoon classes are Math 10 and maybe dance. So lots of different opportunities for you, but that's what a typical timetable looks like. So what are the next steps with registration? So it looks a little bit differently this year because of the situation we're in. So we are going to continue to work with your junior high or middle school support team in getting this information out, and they are going to work with you on filling out those forms that we talked about earlier. You're going to get your parents to sign it and your teachers to recommend those courses, and then we're going to pick those back up near the end of February. All right. If you're an out-of-boundary student, we are still waiting to see what the transfer process looks like, and depending on when you are watching this, that happened on January 18th, so it's happening, you're watching this after, we will know more information and we'll communicate that to your teachers. So that is it for our formal presentation. If you ever have some questions, you can contact us through our school website. But we are so excited to have you and look forward to you being a future RAM. And before we go, I just wanted to point out our little Bitmojis there that we're really excited about. Anyway, have a wonderful remainder of your school year, and we look forward to working with you in the fall.